Are you a B2B organization looking to build a sales process from your LinkedIn ads? If you want to get better customers using LinkedIn ads, then that's what we're going to talk about here today. My name is Anthony. I'm from Speedwork Social, and all we do is LinkedIn ads management. We've worked with both mid-size and very big companies running their LinkedIn ads. So we've seen what's worked in the sales and marketing world for them in the sales process. So LinkedIn ads, if you're a B2B organization looking to target some type of niche professional at scale, LinkedIn ads is going to offer you those best targeting options, where in many other platforms, those targeting options just don't exist. So if you're looking to target a very specific type of person at a very specific type of company, LinkedIn is probably the only place where you're going to be able to find them at scale. LinkedIn ads does tend to be a more expensive platform, and B2B sales in general tends to be a longer process. So we're going to dive in today to talk about some best practices there and what you can expect and how to maximize the results that you're getting. So first thing to talk about is in the B2B world is that the average sales cycle is between 3 to 6 months. So you should be planning your sales and marketing process to be following up with people over that period of time. If you just have a couple days or 1 month in your follow-up process, then prospects are going to drop off and they're not going to reach that point of knowing enough and trusting you enough to be ready to make that purchase. There's a lot of steps people need to go through in the B2B world, and the higher the price point, the more somebody needs to consider things. The higher the price point, the more approvals that are needed in a business. People need to see if the software or the process is going to integrate with their organization. They probably need to talk to other people in their organization to make sure that happens. So that's why B2B sales takes longer. If you're an e-commerce store selling widgets, then that's a much easier sale because somebody already knows what the product is. Maybe they go look up some reviews to understand if it's good quality, and then they'll make the purchase from there. So kind of a little bit more on that is the stages of awareness. This is a great concept that really helps talk about the start of your funnel. Now, for the average business that's not a mainstream household name, and the average user on LinkedIn who's just scrolling around, the average user has never heard of your business. So you can't start by talking about your product or your services or your price points, because that doesn't mean anything to somebody who's never heard about you before. You can't lead with contact us or free consultation, because again, if somebody doesn't know who you are, that consultation doesn't mean anything to them. They have no reason to sign up. That's a very easy way to spend a lot of money on ads and not get any results if you lead with that. So instead, you need to lead with addressing people where they are to begin. And that starts more on the right side of this diagram here. So people coming in are probably unaware. They've never heard of your business. They don't know the service that you offer. Maybe the service you offer is a standardized service. They understand what the standard is. So they might fall in the right side to the middle side of this chart. One of our favorite things to lead with here, therefore, is case studies, because case studies, they tell the story on the right-hand side, they offer claims and proof in the middle here, and they cover this wide range. Somebody who's downloading a case study wants that end result that you're talking about in that case study. So, whatever it is the topic that your case study is on, whatever that end result is that you're promoting there, if someone's downloading that means that they want that same end result too, which makes them a prospective customer for you. So again, the only way that you can start the relationship with people is on the right-hand side, and starting with what we call lead magnets. These are usually quick and easy downloadables. Again, case studies work best. Checklists work very well. Webinars can work well too, but you need to start people on the right-hand side, because a free consultation doesn't mean anything to them yet until they learn more about your business. If you're an e-commerce store selling widgets, people know what phone cases are, for example, so they don't need information about phone cases. Maybe they need to know how this phone case is different or something like that, but you can often lead with price, for a known product and a known brand. All right, so this is kind of a diagram of what the overall sales funnel looks like. This is a lead magnet sales funnel and kind of the different steps in the process. So we're going to be targeting cold traffic on LinkedIn, and keep in mind that this is going to be different than referrals. If you've mostly been working off referrals in the past, those tend to close a lot quicker. They don't need as much warming up because there's a lot of trust built into that process when someone refers you to them. So because we're targeting cold traffic on LinkedIn, we want to start with lead magnets. That gives somebody a reason to sign up to learn more. They're going to enter their email address or their contact information to be able to download that lead magnet. And then in the process of downloading that lead magnet, they're going to learn a lot more about you and your process and the results that you've helped a company get. And that builds a lot of familiarity and a lot of trust. And that's what helps shorten down that 3 to 6 month sales cycle. So now when somebody goes in to download that, at that point they've become a lead. They're going to go into your CRM. They're going to go to your sales team. You should have a follow-up process in place to be able to nurture and follow up that lead over time. Once it leads in your system, then you can think about, following up with them, offering whatever that next step is in your sales process. B2B offers tend to be more higher ticket. People need to go consider different things and talk to different people. So we talk about considering using a Tripwire offer, which lowers that barrier to entry. Maybe it's a cheaper price point or an entry step into working with you that makes it easier for somebody to say yes. So we'll dive more into that in the next slides. Now, the reason why we're talking so much about this is because there's a lot of data out there that shows that the average, that it takes on average 7 to 13 successful touches to turn a prospect into a customer. Now, there's a lot of data out there that supports this, and this right here is from Microsoft. I would say that they probably know a thing or two about B2B sales. And it's very interesting to kind of look through these different steps in the process. Feel free to pause the video and kind of read this chart here, but the main point is most businesses who are marketing, maybe somebody downloads something, they send them one email, maybe a salesperson calls out, but then that's it. They give up very quickly. And noting that, to turn somebody into a customer, it takes 7 to 13 touch points, but most people don't even make it halfway there. And if you are the one who's following up with people, you have an extended email sequence, you have people who are continuing to call out, you're retargeting them with ads, you're connecting with them. By the time you get to that 9, 10, and 11th touch point, you're probably the only person that's made it that far. So when your prospect gets to the point that they're ready to pull the trigger, you're going to be the only option in their mind. So now if you think about what is a good nurturing process look like, here's kind of a diagram. Think about that every person out there has their own preferences, their own ways of doing things. Some people, spend more time in email. Some people spend more time on LinkedIn. Some people are more on the phone type of people. Some people are more, I need to go read something by myself before I'm ready to take those next steps. So because everyone has different modalities that they learn and that they understand information in, we recommend a multi-channel, multi-format follow-up process. So you'll want to use several different channels to try to re-engage people, to follow up with them, to move them through your sales process. I will note that if you're starting with LinkedIn ads to bring people into your sales funnel, then following up with them back on LinkedIn, we see the highest response rate doing that. So if someone's downloaded a lead magnet or gone to your website and signed up for something, you or your sales team should be reaching out to that person, connect with them on LinkedIn, and then that'll also, they get to know you, and then it'll make them more likely to see your posts that you make in the future. So it's a way to stay in front of them. And then you can also use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to send them a direct message where you don't have to wait for them to connect to be able to send them more information. And that follow-up can be as simple as, hey, I saw you downloaded our case study. The next step most people take is getting a free assessment for your business. I'd be happy to run those numbers for you. When's a good time to talk? And it could be, that's the next step. It's, keep following up with people and go from there. But leads that are coming off LinkedIn, we see the highest response rate from following up with them on LinkedIn. If you don't have any sales process at all in the B2B world, we recommend the 3-step consultative sales process. Now, again, this is going to also depend on your business, your offer, where people are in that level of awareness. But we see that this 3-step consultative sales process tends to work well. The challenge is if somebody does agree to a call and you show up to that call and you just pitch them right away on that call, they haven't really gained anything except just understanding a little bit more about your business. And what's going to get somebody to take that next step is by feeling heard and by understanding if their situation, their business, their setup is going to match with your offer that you're making. In the B2B world, people need to get approvals from other people. Maybe they need to involve somebody from IT or from another department to see if your systems are going to integrate and talk to each other. So showing up to that intro call, we often see that lengthening out the process by offering an analysis call in the middle, and this kind of gets to the free consultation part at this point, is you're going to offer on that intro call, you're not selling your end solution or your main offer, you instead want to sell some type of analysis. That free analysis, maybe you can make it paid, but we see the free do the best. That analysis gives somebody a reason to come back to you in the sales process and not just go cold on you. So that free assessment that you're going to offer, you're going to sell that on the intro call. Someone's going to get on another call with you, and you then have the opportunity to ask them a series of questions to learn more about their business. Now, sure, you can kind of combine these steps into one, but the best, by having those repeated touch points is, again, going back to that follow-up process, and that builds the familiarity and the trust. Now, once you've asked all those questions, you'll want to take away that information. You and your team are going to go think about it. Maybe you're going to process something. You're going to run some numbers, and then you having that, they need to show up to a third call to get the data and results of that assessment to get that value out of it. So that gives them a reason to come back to that third call, the feedback call, and then on that feedback call, that's when you're going to go deliver the results that you process for them. And then also that's when you're going to make your sales pitch. And, again, that can either be your main sales pitch or the Tripwire offer that we can talk about next. So again, in B2B sales, it's probably a higher ticket offer, probably going to cost a lot more approvals there. So how can you lower that barrier to entry? And what we see work very well is what we call a tripwire. And think about, what is the first step? What's something smaller that somebody can purchase that makes it an easier yes for them? Maybe, smaller price points, they don't need as many approvals, maybe simpler products, they don't need to involve as many people to make sure it's all going to work. So what's that tripwire that you can start with? For a couple of examples, GoDaddy, the first purchase you make there, they're offering 99 cents. Of course, every domain you buy after that is going to be a lot more than 99 cents, but that kind of lowers the risk for the average person out there who's going to go on and buy a domain name. And the second one here is ClickFunnels. They have a 14-day free trial, but to start that free trial, you need to put your credit card in the system. So a free trial is great because somebody can sign up, start testing out your system or working with you, but having their credit card in the system makes it very easy to transition from that free trial into a paying customer after that's over. So that's some of the best practices for LinkedIn ads. And I'd say to kind of encapsulate it is to talk about the mindset that we see the best sales teams have from following up from their LinkedIn ads. And they talk about that, as soon as a lead comes in, our sales team's all over them. We're following up with them via email. We're connecting with them on LinkedIn. We're sending them follow-up messages. We're calling them. We're texting them. And that's the first touch point. Because if you think about, a company that might just send you one email, maybe two emails after you download something, you can just tell that the energy is not there. They're not following up with you. They're not sure of their solution of what they're offering. But the company that's all over it and following up with you and is very energetic, there's something about that's magnetic. So that's how you start the relationship, and then you need to follow up with people over that 3 to 6 months, and that's how you're going to convert the most leads. So we've seen this work with really big companies, and we've seen this work with companies who are only spending a few thousand per month on ads. So if you're looking for help with your LinkedIn ads management, I know our team can deliver those leads for you, and then we can work with you on your sales process to make sure that's maximized. So if you want the best performance from your LinkedIn ads, if you want bigger customers from LinkedIn ads, go to speedworksocial.com. You can sign up for a free consultation there to learn more. And then we also have a lot of information about LinkedIn ads on our blog. Feel free to read up on that. Again, my name is Anthony from Speedworks Social. Thanks for watching.